Hi, this is Corey, and here's another NavisWorks training video. In this video, we're going to be talking about file management and how we append files into NavisWorks. So let's begin. To append, we go up to our home ribbon and we can click directly on the button that says append. Or else we can use the keyboard shortcut. If we hover over it, we can see Control A. Whenever you see these little drop down arrows, if you click on this arrow, you have the additional option, but if you just click on the button itself, it will execute that command. So to find so what you do is you find your file, and we're going to be bringing this into our NWF. So I'm going to open my training files, and this is our basic training content. So I'm going to import our structure. I'm going to hit open. And here we go. We can see our first model. We can see in our selection tree that we have structure.nwc. And the beautiful part about NavisWorks is that you can bring in multiple files and multiple file types. In this particular instance, all of the models were created using previous versions of Revit. So to import additional files or append additional models, I'm going to click up here on the append button. And I can actually control click, so I can click my first one and hold control and click on my second file. So right now I have architecture and MEP selected, and you can always toggle by just clicking on the file again. So I'm going to hit open, and now we can see both of these models, or all three of these models. So I'd like to talk a little bit about just the different file types that are in NavisWorks. And if you go to the Beck Training Manual, this is currently listed as 2011. I'm sorry, I don't keep up real well with these manuals. I try to do it more by video content and then just doing training and by word of mouth. But there's three main file types within NavisWorks. And we often say that NavisWorks can read all file types, and that's not totally accurate. What is more accurate is to say that NavisWorks has written very good file converters for many authoring tools. So what they do is create what's called an NWC file from that original authoring tool file. An authoring tool being AutoCAD, being Revit, being Tekla, being Rhino or SketchUp. All of these are different authoring tools. NavisWorks is a viewer which we view the 3D geometry as well as the pertinent parameter information that gets passed to the NWC. So NWCs are the individual files from the authoring tools. They get referenced into what's called an NWF. And the NWF is the master file. But really all it does is contain links to the geometry. And when you're doing clash detection, you are primarily going to be working in NWFs with these live links to files, because each week you're going to get new updates from your subcontractors and your trades, and they're going to be relinked into your NWF, and you can see how progress is happening, verifying clash detection. All of these things get packaged together then in an NWD, and really it only should be wrapped around the NWCs and the NWF. That you have all the associated viewpoints and information, but you don't have, the original Revit files. And you'll see that as you export an NWC, it's much smaller than the original, say, Revit file. You have a 100 megabyte Revit file that, when you export the NWC, might be down to just 3 to 4 megabytes, because all it is really paring down to just the geometry and the parameter information. NavisWorks references all of this based on a relative file structure. So depending on where you have your NWF saved, it will look in one folder down for your pathing, and that can actually be set up in your options as well. I don't want to wear us out too much on this file management. I think I'll need to make another video to talk in some more detail about how your file structure and file management can give you issues and do some troubleshooting. So thanks. Hope this was a helpful video.